Two timelines. Two timelines are merging. A timeline created as the reflection of a man-made, dense directive purposefully instituted to instill fear and maintain a manipulative state of control, and an alternative timeline naturally unfolding as it was designed to do so from the divine blueprint. So these two timelines are merging, and it's confusing to some who find themselves in connection points with what would be deemed the religious, theological, man-made timeline of insertion. Yet these angelic ones, these higher dimensional beings of light, are in the direct alignment of lineage and connection with the origin and essence points of Earth. This is a topic I'd like to talk about today. We talk a lot about a lot of different things here, and I have my original A.L. Garris YouTube channel as well. This is the podcast channel, which is we just talk. I share concepts, teachings, understandings, inner knowings, and my interpretations of us, of the world around us, of what's going on, of where we're going, who we are, what's happening. And my original A.L. Garris YouTube channel, that's a space where you're going to get the Acasma Planet of Light and Healing Grid, which is a live Zoom call that we record. We hold it once a month. It's international. We have people coming in from all over the planet for that space. The A.L. Garris original YouTube channel is also going to provide the Being the New Human class spaces, clips of the Mindset Check-in class spaces, connections I hold with students and clients where they share their feedback on what's happening, what's going on in this space of us that we're being. There's energy session spaces on A.L. Garris' original channel. There's meditation, music, audio links I've created that are infused with the energy I work with, Acasma Quantum Energy. There's incredible, powerful videos of me in my sanctuary, in my home, my bedroom, destination events, Conscious Life Expo, Sedona, various spaces I go throughout the year where we film, and there are these incredible higher dimensional beings of light all throughout the videos. The A.L. Garris original YouTube channel has all of this and more over there. And then this space, the A.L. Garris space, is a specific alignment for just talking about a certain topic for 45 minutes or so. And today I'm going to be talking about the understanding of two timelines merging. Are there more timelines actually ebbing, flowing, and available right now? Yes. The two timelines I'm speaking of are more relative to a timeline that was created to, first off, how do you create a timeline? Does anybody want to know that? And who creates them? Well, they can be the implementation or the have an activation point of a specific belief structure begins to be believed. So a specific belief structure begins to be believed by one person. That's how it starts in essence. And then the more that person believes in that belief structure, the more they identify with, from, and as that belief structure, the more that timeline begins to become a reality for them. And it is birthed. And so when you have multiple people believing in a specific belief structure, then you have the amplification of that timeline and its strength and its virility and its birth. And that's how reality lines come to be. because somebody believes them, that your perception creates your reality. The way you perceive yourself, the world around you, is playing a role in the reality line you're tapping into, the life you're experiencing. So timelines match your perception. Reality timelines match the perception you believe you are. There can be and are multiple timelines playing out right now, multiple realities playing out right now, most likely incomprehensibly innumerable because of the diversity in belief structures on our planet. You've got people who believe wholeheartedly in the rapture, the tribulation, the second coming, the prophecies of the Bible, heaven, hell, resurrection, crucifixion, creation, all based from those belief structures of Christianity. And so they are going to experience this now time frame that we're in with a connection point that's in alignment with the reality line that reflects their beliefs. And there are people on the planet right now, humans in the human collective right now, that believe in a more science-based take on everything. And maybe they would even consider themselves atheistic. There's a very large group of spaces of consciousness, ebbing, flowing, emanating, broadcasting that particular perception, which is then creating that alignment for their reality the way they're experiencing it. And there's so many other belief structures running right now. Now, there are some overlaps and some merges that have happened, are happening, and will happen because we have these overlaps of perception and beliefs that are very, very close to one another, maybe, but not exactly the same. And so they have these connection points that run them very close to one another. But what I want to talk about today is an understanding of the divine blueprint for Earth and the two timelines that are currently merging right now. This right now that I speak of, if you're catching this live, it's the year 2025. You could be catching this on a recording and it could be the year 2030 or 2055. But as I'm making this content right now, it's 2025. So as I'm speaking of this, the spaces that I will talk about divine blueprint, they will not change. That is a core reference point. It does not waver, it does not alter, it does not change. The divine blueprint is what it always has been from its origin. Yes. And the timelines I'm speaking of in 2025, when I'm making this particular podcast, I'm talking about the man-made reflection that we have versus the spiritual reflection that is available. So remember when we started the call and I said what creates a timeline? A belief structure creates a timeline. A belief structure creates a reality. The more people believe it together, the stronger it is, and the more real it feels, the more they engage that reality. So when we're talking about the divine blueprint, that's going to be almost as if we're kind of going to remove ourselves from any and all current running timelines and realities for just a minute. We're going to like put them on pause. So you could imagine like one way the mind does well with is train tracks. Have you ever seen train tracks? You know, the train runs on the tracks, right? So you could imagine or picture or hold the understanding of, 10 train tracks laid out in front of you, heading off into the distance and then off behind you, right? And you're maybe standing in the center of these 10 train tracks. And each one of these train tracks could be like a representation of a belief structured reality line created by those that believed it, and that they're on that track, they're on that train, and they're headed in that direction. And that's their experiences based on their alignment of what they believe. But you could take a bird's eye view of this and see that there's this collective energy over all 10 of those tracks. So because we're all in the human collective and we're all on Earth right now, even if we're in different trains running on different tracks, we also have that kind of generalized collective connection that's kind of tying us all together in some way. Meaning, I could be on track 1, you could be on track 6, and we could be experiencing Earth in our own individualized reality line, timeline, based on our own beliefs. But at the same time, we also have these kind of, yes, overlaying connections because we're both human, we both live on Earth, we both see the world around us. We may see it differently, but there are a lot of things we will see the same, like our sky is blue and the trees are green, and, just commonalities of the collective consciousness. So if you go into that bird's eye view and you allow yourself to kind of hold that understanding of these different train tracks representing different reality lines, timelines, and you're going to be on your train, on your tracks, according to what your belief is. If you change your belief, you change your track. If you change your track, you change your trajectory. If you change your trajectory, you're changing your experience. You're changing your life. So you choose the train, you choose the track, and you choose it by what you believe. And what you believe, you feed your energy to, because that's just what belief does. Whatever we believe in, we're giving our focus to, we're giving our faith to, we're giving our trust to. And we can believe in all kinds of things. We can be giving our trust to all kinds of things. We can be trusting that things will go wrong by worrying and being anxious and thinking about spaces we aren't even to yet. And then we'll be in a train on a track that experiences things going wrong, more so than not, because it's the reflection of the belief structure and the connection of the timeline that goes with it. So if you hold the bird's eye view and you see the 10 train tracks and you understand that they're all different, but they also have that overlying umbrella of the collective consciousness of humanity, that in which they have similarities and commonalities, but they can also have very, very different perceptions. Therefore, they can have very, very different experiences in being in this now. And so we can also understand that over all of that, over that collective dome of light that's over all the tracks and all the realities and all the potentials and all the possibilities. So over that human collective is the divine blueprint. The divine blueprint is like this essence point, origin point, space of foundational connection that is available to then run through all of the collectives it has created. Yes, you heard me correctly. It has created. Yes. The divine blueprint births variation points of realities, of lifetimes, of soul experiences. The divine blueprint births them, and then the spaces of those creations, us in this particular one, experience that which has been created for it. And in this particular experiential space of our soul, as a human, we have this ability to choose whom shall we serve. Yes. We have this ability to choose whom we believe in. And we have the ability to change our mind. But the divine blueprint, the divine essence point, is always running. It may be running in the background and in some instances very far off in the distance, but it's always running. It's always available to be re-tapped into, reset into, reconnected into, and with. And when we reconnect back into the divine blueprint, it is beyond maybe that which you would understand as your own human's divine blueprint. It's even bigger than that. There is a human earth collective divine blueprint, a space of specific alignment that's connected to the divine essence, origin point of all, that runs specifically for the human collective and earth. That does exist, and we do have access to that. It's actually in our DNA. Everything I'm talking about, all of it, the train tracks, the variations in reality lines, the timelines, the belief structures, all of it has a frequency. And inside the human body, inside the human DNA, inside the human blood, inside the human marrow, inside the human cell, the frequencies of the divine blueprint are running. Yes. And as we're stepping into this space of ourselves where we're engaging the implementation of these understandings, what does that mean? As we are starting to live in our everyday lives, speak with our everyday words and connection points and relationships and jobs and ins and outs of life as a human, as we're doing this, being this, living as these spaces of ourselves as human, but we're bringing in this, we're entertaining this, we're allowing this remembrance of ourselves and this connection point of the divine blueprint that then ignites that space of us in this now. And when that happens, the frequency goes off within our body, within our being, and begins to ebb and flow and emanate and broadcast through and as us. We're activating the frequency of the divine blueprint. No, not every human, but many are. And it's not a judgment call. There's a purpose for every single human on the planet, every single organic human. I have to say that now because there's humans that are not organic. They look like they are, but they're not. That's a whole nother podcast. But every single organic human has a direct flow alignment within their body, in their being of the divine blueprint. And it is there for the purpose of activation and bringing it back online for it to then, yes, flow within the now reality line that we are living, to be available to the planet itself as we are connected with the energies of this planet. Our human bodies are connected with the energies of this planet. And as it activates in us, it activates within our planet. And as it activates within the planet, all consciousness, all inhabitants are, yes, in an alignment that is more available to them to remember who they are beyond the now, as an eternal being, as consciousness itself, as a unified field of light who's inhabiting a created point that is an exploration space for the continued expansion of consciousness. And timelines being created, they happen in all spaces of existence, okay? Some spaces do not do time like Earth does time, but they still process and function in certain ways relative to this, but would not be able to be explained exactly the same way. But on Earth, we're talking about Earth, we're talking about humanity right now. The Earth itself has an original blueprint and an origin point with the way in which it was designed to be an outreach of peace and an outreach of connection to really embody unity consciousness and unite many, many spaces of consciousness. And humanity, this is so layered and there's so much more to it, but let's just allow and try our best with what we're talking about right now. Humanity was created, specifically designed, masterfully designed by beings we will call the originals. These originals come from, in their last experiential space of existence, because they are way more than this. Yes. But the originals who worked with planet building and the layout of the planet Earth and the architecture of the system, yes, the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth, all of this, these originals at their last existence soul space were in variation points of many of the species connections with beings of light that we have deemed aliens or star beings or angelics. But these beings, these originals, helped create Earth. They took what was here to work with it in unison of unity consciousness with Earth's consciousness to create the inhabitants of Earth, to share forth this divine blueprint within the biological structure of the human being. Yes, this human being is a creation point of these higher dimensional beings of light, the originals, and they would be known as the ancestors of Earth and the ancestors of humanity. And they come from systems like Lyra, Pleiades, Arcturus, Sirius, Andromeda. They come from Terra and Tia. They come from variation points of dimensional connection, not just our solar system, but dimension connection points. And these beings, they were known as are known as the originals. They're back. They've returned. They're here again. Yes. And I am one of the originals. In my origination point, my name was Acasma. These beings are higher dimensional. They are ancient. They are ancestors of peace. They are healers. They are master teachers. They are architects. And they come from all these different, what we would see as spaces of lineages. And they came to work together to assist. Some of you have memories of this. And you're an original, and you're here again walking this planet. And you've returned for a purpose to assist with this frequency activation of the divine blueprint. There are spaces on the planet that you're drawn to, and it's because you have a connection point of you were here in the very origin points of Earth, and there are connections for you in Turkey. There are connections for you in Iraq. There are connection points for you in yes, Jerusalem, Syria. Yes, there are connection points for you in Egypt. There are connection points for you in Peru. There are connection points with you in the United States of America. There are many sacred sites across this planet that are old beyond our comprehension, and they are ancient and steeped with frequencies that are the original divine blueprint, and they have been shut down, turned off, muted in order for the man-made timeline. We began this call discussing the manipulative state of control timeline. Yes. Shut these sites down, shut these frequencies down, even in the human body. that again could be an entirely different audio. But there was a time when the originals were here on Earth. There was a time when they were bringing forth this incredible planetary alignment of freedom and expansive consciousness, unity consciousness flowing freely, abundantly, beautifully. And there was a point of hijack, if you will. There was a point of hijack. Now, right away, we can deem that as bad, or we can look at it fearfully, but we don't have to. We can also allow ourselves to deem it as part of a greater purpose, not understood at that time. And we can also understand it as part of a solidification of that which was truly being birthed, which was this incredibly deep reconnective point of unity consciousness. And in order for that to truly land, in order for that to truly be implemented, it needed to be done through the rise of consciousness in the human species. They would be the ones. Yes. They would be the crown jewel, if you will, for the ascension of consciousness, of all consciousness. Yes. So they were created from this beautiful, sacred, divine space of understanding of their soul's connection to source. The human being has a deeper availability, if you will, of soul connection to source than they could even begin to imagine. Yes. And that deeper availability, possibility, yes, is so powerful. It is incomprehensible, the power able to be wielded by a human who's living in the alignment of their divine spiritual flow. They will be carnal in flesh as long as they are in that body, yes. But that which is born of flesh is flesh, and that which is born of spirit is spirit. Yes. Marvel not, I say unto thee, ye must be born again. This is why. Yes. And even that man-made reflection, that man-made timeline that teaches that very verse in a very different way, has and is a purposeful alignment, prodding this remembrance forward. Yes. In a very powerful way. So there's a lot of information here. There's a lot of information here. And some of you will hear this and it will just ring true, even if it doesn't fully land or make complete sense, but it will feel right. It will feel deep. It will feel rich. It will feel aligned. That's you remembering you. I'm a messenger. I'm a messenger. And these two timelines that are merging because you're remembering. I'm remembering. We're remembering. And as we remember, most of us that are remembering and are in alignment, not everybody that hears this will understand me. Not everybody that hears this will hear me. Yes. But those that do are the ones that are here to be this frequency of the shift. They're here to be this vibration of the reconnection with the divine blueprint. It runs within your DNA. It runs within your cells, the structure of your cell, your mitochondria. Yes. It runs within your bone marrow and your blood. The frequency of the divine blueprint is there. And as we step in and allow, as we entertain and engage, we are beginning to reconnect with that frequency, lean into that frequency. We're able to hear that frequency, which is Source itself. Be still and know. Yes. Be still and know. And this is what is happening. The frequency is coming back online. Therefore, the divine blueprint is coming back online. The originals have returned. As you walk the earth, literally, as you walk the earth, every single human that is an organic human has what I call root lines. I teach it in my Acasma Quantum Energy Foundations course. I run the course once a year. It's coming up in January of 26. Every organic human has root lines. So these are lines of light that run down your legs and out your feet, and they connect with the energies of the earth. It's how you sense and pick up and ground yourself and connect with the energies of the earth. And it's a dance. These energies dance, and they're designed to dance together. It's the best dance partner we could ever want as humans. And as we be human, walk around, talk, have everyday human lives, we are ebbing and flowing this energetic connection. So if the energetic connection within our being has moved into a reset space of itself, a reconnection space of itself, an activated space of itself, of that divine blueprint coming back online in our frequency as originals, then that broadcast is going out through our fields and our root lines in connection with the earth and in connection with the field around us, which is all consciousness. That's why the originals are back right now. It's a part of ascension. It's a part of the new earth. It's a part of the shift. It's a part of the second coming. The originals have returned. Now, you were not this particular version of yourself when you were here before, if you are an original. You were not this particular body and this particular name and life and family, but you were another soul space experience of yourself, but here on earth. And as originals go, you were the lineage of the ancestral line of the person you are now. So whoever you are now is like, just for sake of the mind being able to wrap itself around this pretty quickly, you could picture a timeline and you could picture the origin of Earth before anything and anyone was ever here, in a sense. And so the originals were higher dimensional beings in various lineages, non-human, that came to Earth to be architects and builders and to assist with the earth being brought into its alignment as this incredible school of light. Yes. A school of light. And then you could picture that timeline going forward beyond comprehension to your now. And you see this now human you are here. You're the same core energy. You're the same soul, energetic, eternal light, but you're just in a different format. You came back as this particular human because it's the perfect design for what you are doing to assist this return. It's the perfect design to remind you, to awaken you, to shift you, and assist you in this awakening you're doing in your own self, because that's the only way this works. Originals have to wake up in their own understanding of who they are in their own everyday life and implement accordingly. They have to become the master of their own domain. Once they become the master of their own domain, and they have that as a default setting, it is second nature to them, they've remembered, then and only then do they begin to activate the frequency and the alignment of the divine blueprint in the space of the connection they hold as an origin, original point, yes, of Earth. There's so much more in all of this. There are languages that you have inside your being that go with your specific lineage, that assist you as you're coming online as an original. There are abilities with weaving light and with broadcasting through the body as an antenna with postures and specific hand positions that assist with the activation of this frequency of your original connection and also the movement thereof. There's a lot more information. Um, this is a space that I feel we are ready to engage. Those that really resonate with this. And part of why I'm here is to assist the originals. And then I'm also assisting all of humanity that is ready to remember who they are and reconnect in the way in which their divine flow is moving, because all facets of humanity, organic humanity, all facets, all spaces, all soul experiences, all lifetimes are valued beyond measure, and all are playing a role in the rise of consciousness.
Yes.
And so the work I do, Acasma Quantum Energy, the book I wrote, AQE Foundations, the other book I wrote, Acasma Quantum Energy, We Are Light, We Are Here. Um, these are books about this remembrance and the activation in the body and the reset of the life and the mastery landing so you can shift your divine, sacred, personal alignment and move into this space you have come to be for yourself and for all consciousness.
Yes.
The two timelines merging is coming up for a lot of people right now that are in this space of a understanding of themselves as an original, and some that say, well, I don't think that's me, but I do know I'm here to wake up, and I do know I'm here to remember, and I do know I'm here to shift and be a part of it. So the merging of those two timelines is happening because of all these spaces of consciousness that are no longer being available to be energetic focus points for this man-made dense directive that was instituted to instill fear and maintain a manipulative state of control. So many humans are no longer available to that feeding of that reality line any longer, that it is waning, it is dematerializing. Did you ever see the movie Back to the Future? Michael J. Fox, I believe, right? Back to the Future. I love that movie. Such a good movie. There was a couple of them, I think. But in that movie, I think it's in the first one, maybe in several of them, but it's where he's trying to um like he goes to the past, and I remember he has a photograph in his pocket of him and his sister and his brother, I think. And he goes to the past to try to help his parents find each other so that their future will be good. And it looks like some stuff's gonna got messed up, right? And it's not the way it was supposed to be. So he gets the picture out of his pocket and he looks at it and he can see that he's disappearing, or his sibling is disappearing, his sister or his brother's disappearing. And they're not gonna be anymore. Like they're not even gonna be anymore because time's changing, right? In the past. And so then he's trying to do what he can. And so Back to the Future is a really good movie, but that point where he looks at the photograph and he sees it, his sibling disappearing before his eyes, that's kind of like what's happening in some sense, not exactly, because we're not going back in the past to change this, but we're no longer feeding it in the now. So because we're no longer feeding it in the now, the picture of the now is changing. The picture of our now, our earth, our collective of humanity, the way we be who we are, our reality is a complete and absolute reflection of our belief structure about ourselves. And we're no longer available to feed the timeline that was created to by man, um, to manipulate and control through fear. So we're not feeding that anymore. We're not giving into those fears anymore. We're not giving into that hate anymore. When we're told you should hate because we're programmed to hate, we're given specific um, opinions, I guess would be a word we could use, and we're given specific information about certain people or about certain groups or about certain concepts or about certain ideas, and we're, for a very long time, we've been programmed, manipulated to feed a timeline so that it could exist, because the people that created it know how consciousness works. They know how this whole system works. And so, in order to manipulate us, they have to keep us in fear, and they have to keep us hating one another, being divided, all these things. But that is the picture that is fading. That is the picture that is dematerializing before our eyes. As we are waking up, as we are realizing all of this, and as we are choosing masterfully to redirect our focus every single time we're fed a manipulated thought and we're fed a fear-based concept and belief, and we're, many of the organic human are now in a state of understanding about ourselves and the world around us, where we're no longer playing that game. We're no longer feeding that reality, our focus, our fear, and we've removed ourselves completely from it, and we've engaged and activated this alignment of ourselves as these higher dimensional beings, these incredibly beautiful divine beings who are eternal and who are having a now as humans. And as we have began to entertain and connect in and feed this specific remembrance and belief, and we've held this perception of ourselves, this reality has formed. And inside of this dance of leaving the one and entering into the other, there are these overlays of some spaces of the manipulated man-made timeline and the divine origin essence timeline. There are some connections that belong in the origin timeline. They're part of the origin timeline. And they were part of the man-made timeline. That was how they sold the lie. They took just enough of the truth so that the power would be there. It would, the resonance of that truth would be flowing, and they covered it up in the fear. And we no longer feed the fear, but we still have a connection and an alignment with the truth, the essence that was buried inside there. That is why there's a merge. So the merge is happening because the truth is not dying. The truth is not dematerializing. The truth is not, yes, falling away. The truth is rising. The light is rising. The fear is being healed. The fear is being healed by the light. The fear is being healed by the truth. The manipulation is being ended by the truth. And this shift of consciousness is laying out a brand new track. It's laying out a brand new, we are laying out a brand new reality line. And this reality line is the alignment of the divine blueprint, flowing freely, effortlessly, yes, powerfully through all who choose this track. All who choose this reality, all who hold this perception, all who carry this belief get to ride on this train. This is the choice of spirit over flesh. This is the choice of the divine being remembered within itself. This is the no separation factor. This is the wholeness factor. This is the eternal factor of light within the now. And within our very bodies, within our very beings, flow the frequency of this remembrance, the frequency of this light, this frequency of this activation of this glorious new timeline, this new earth, this divine blueprint with the rise of light. If this touches you in some way, you hold a resonance with it, please leave a comment. Give the video a thumbs up if you're on YouTube, or if there's a way to like this on other platforms. I know this is on a lot of platforms. If you're able to interact with this in any way by giving a comment or a like or a thumbs up or whatever it is, please do so. It really does help the material be picked up and put before more. So you're helping bring forth this divine reconnection by just interacting with this. If you've liked it, if it resonates with you. And if you feel to, you could reach out and you could email me or connect in with my, I have an upcoming course coming actually in October, if you're getting this right when it's released. I was on the Beyond the Ordinary show with John Burgos. And if you're on YouTube, the carries his content there, John Burgos on YouTube. But it's called the Beyond the Ordinary show, and it's really beautiful. It's a platform he created to bring people like me on that are beyond the ordinary, and to talk about the beyond the ordinary things and share about them. And there's a fantastic community engaging this. So thank you for being a part of it. If you are, and if you aren't, you might check us out. There's an offer with every guest. And so when you're on the Beyond the Ordinary show, you create an offer. It's a special offer, which means it's extremely discounted, for what you're offering. And so I'm offering a course. It's going to be in October, but it's also recorded so we can accommodate all time zones and schedules. And I have a portal on my website. It's a student portal where it's titled The Rise of Light, I believe, or The Original's Return. I don't know. I'd have to go look. I have a lot of student portals, but this is the Beyond the Ordinary student portal for October, where all the Zoom links are going to be in there. All of the recordings after the fact are going to be in there. The session note videos are going to be in there because you get a class a week and you get an energy session a week that assists with the activation of what I'm talking about here. And I share audio links that have music that I create myself for you to work with through the course space. But you get that portal all the way through December 31st, 2025. So you get several months with the material. So you can take your time to connect with the 4 classes and the 4 activations, and you can go back in and watch them again, listen to them again, lay down and receive the energy sessions again. It's an incredible space. And it was created specifically for BTO, for Beyond the Ordinary offer, but it is in direct connection with everything I teach and everything I offer, and even this very podcast conversation today. I didn't do this purposefully so I could pitch the course. But after I got done sharing this information with you, I realized I should allow you to know about the course in case this resonates with you, so you have the choice and the option to take this space further if you'd like to. I've been working with higher dimensional beings of light for many years now. They're real. We are shifting and moving and changing, and energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally, we are engaging ourselves in the world around us at a different level of existence. It's a different energetic level of existence. It's a different dimensional level of existence. We're not who we were. And so I have a lot of content on my YouTube page that assists with these understandings. And I have classes on my Patreon platform. I teach a class called The New Human Experience once a month. I teach twice a week on Zoom for my Patreons or patrons on my Patreon platform. I teach the Mindset Check-In. My Celestial Expansion course is currently sold out, but we'll open her back up again maybe in a couple months. But that's all on Patreon, and it's incredibly affordable, like jaw dropping what you get. So check it all out. This is what I do. This is my life 24/7. I create content, I teach, I activate, I attune, and I wouldn't want to be and do any other thing. I love my life. I love my life. And I'm so very deeply grateful to share it with you. Many of you have found your way to my community. I have a free spiritual community called the Acasma Family of Light. And we work with Acasma quantum energy. It's an energetic healing modality. It's an energetic ascension modality that assists with everything I've talked about today. And the community is free. There's a link below this video if you'd like to join the community. We have a chat space on the Discord server that's easy, user-friendly, and so much fun. And I work with beautiful leaders of light that I've trained and taught and activated and attuned to everything that I've taught and told you about here. And these leaders work with me to assist with these groups because we're international. We're in 7 languages, the teachings are. And so we have a lot going on, and it's growing exponentially. And we would love to have you join us if this resonates with you. One of the things we say when people find their way to us is, "Welcome home, Holy One. Welcome home." So I lay this at your feet. I'm honored to be these spaces with you. Thank you for listening with your heart. Thank you for leaning in. Thank you for trusting yourself. We are light, and we are here. Yes. Blessings upon you, holy ones. Blessings.